So I do think that in this case, these symptoms would interfere with his ability to participate rationally in his defense.
Okay, we're back on Commonwealth versus Jared Hale, 24 CR 0092. You are Jared Hale, is that correct? Are you Jared Hale? You have to speak up, Mr. Hale.
Something's going on. They don't have any audio.
See if they'll help you put the microphone on there, Mr. Hale.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, were you born
Yes, sir.
last 4 digits social security number?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the Commonwealth has filed a motion for a competency hearing, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, do you have a witness?
Yes, Dr. Sparks, Your Honor.
Dr. Sparks, thank you for joining us today on short notice. Will you raise your right hand, please? You swear the testimony that you're about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, state your full name and your credential.
Stephen Anthony Sparks, PhD. I'm a psychologist and a consultant with the Kentucky Correctional Psychiatric Center, KCPC.
Okay, Mr. Stockton, you may proceed.
Dr. Sparks, how long have you been associated with KCPC?
With KCPC for about 16 years. I've been working as a forensic psychologist for 20 years.
Okay. And did you receive a court order to evaluate Jared Hale as regards his ability to stand trial, his competency to stand trial?
I did.
And what type of approach did you do and use in that evaluation?
This was completed by video conferencing while Mr. Hale was at the detention center and I was in my private office.
Okay. And was Mr. Hale subjected to any type of testing, and what kind of review did you do prior to rendering an opinion?
Yes, prior to meeting with Mr. Hale, I reviewed what I had at my disposal, which included the court order, offense-related law enforcement reports. Also, we have one of our staff members at KCPC will call the detention center and do an interview. They'll write a brief report. So I was able to review that report as well. I also had the Kentucky Court of Justice. I had his criminal history record. I also had records from the jail. I then met with Mr. Hale. I completed an interview. I asked him about symptoms. I asked him about his history. We talked about what happened at the time of the alleged offenses. He also did complete some psychological testing. Following my meeting with Mr. Hale, I was able to conduct a telephone interview of his mother. It was upon that information that I based my opinions. Now, since that time, I've also received records that I reviewed from Life Skills and from Western State Hospital. My standard is if records I receive change my opinion, I send an addendum to the court. If they are supportive of my opinion, I don't. I review them. So I have reviewed additional records. I felt they were supportive of my opinions.
Okay. Based on a reasonable medical probability, then what is your opinion as regards Mr. Hale's ability or competency to stand trial?
To a reasonable degree of psychological certainty, it's my opinion that Mr. Hale does have the capacity to appreciate the nature and consequences of the proceedings against him, but that he lacks the capacity to participate rationally in his own defense.
Okay. What is that opinion based on, Dr. Sparks?
Well, I guess the simple answer would be all the different things that I mentioned I was able to review. I think the more specific answer would be, I think there were a number of pieces of evidence that would suggest he is experiencing psychological symptoms of psychosis. Now, I met with Mr. Hale. He was very pleasant. He was very straightforward. He was very articulate. I appreciated all of that. I know he would likely disagree with this. However, I think the information taken as a whole, I was able to interview his mother, who said he had been experiencing various symptoms, including likely delusions and hallucinations. He had reportedly gotten a diagnosis from Western State Hospital suggesting some psychosis, and that was confirmed when I received those records later. Also, I did not have at the time, but Life Skills also provided such a diagnosis. I had listened to various interviews and video recordings of the identified victim and others in this case, and one of them had also suggested that he had been experiencing auditory hallucinations. I conducted psychological testing that suggested likely paranoia. And of course, when I met with him, I spoke with him, and he made a number of statements that I believe suggested hallucinations and delusions. So based on that information, I felt he was experiencing a psychosis. Now, more specifically with regard to his competency, I think that his understanding, his experience of these symptoms is directly related to events that occurred at the time of the alleged offenses, the various players, and I think it affects his decisions he would make regarding legal strategy, how he would approach his case. So I do think that in this case, these symptoms would interfere with his ability to participate rationally in his defense. I'm sorry that was so long-winded.
Oh, that's all right, doctor. My question then is, after reading your report, it appears that you believe that this psychosis can be treated and thereby enable him to be able to participate in his defense. Am I phrasing that correctly?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And you would have to have him then transferred, I guess, or brought to the psychiatric facility at KCPC so he could be treated in-house?
That's exactly right. At the present time, to my knowledge, in Barron County, there is no outpatient competency restoration treatment. We're gradually trying to get that happening across the Commonwealth, but at the present time, there is not. So yes, I would recommend treatment with the experts at KCPC.
Okay. Now, in your report, you put in it for a foreseeable future, there's a probability of competency in 360 days, but I think the statute provides we can send him up for a total of 60 days. Do you think that would be enough to restore competency possibly?
I do. In fact, I've worked in-house at KCPC for over 10 years, and I found that usually in the majority of cases, these types of symptoms I think he's experiencing are treated within 30 days. And sometimes the folks at KCPC will request an extension to go to 60 days of the court, but usually restoration will happen in that period of time.
So a court order for 30 days would be sufficient, you believe, and then you could request additional time if necessary?
Yes.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Judge Williams, can I speak a second?
Wait just a second. I'll give you a chance in a minute.
Mr. Howell, I would advise you not to say anything, but I do have a couple of questions for Dr. Sparks.
Okay.
Dr. Sparks, can you say with a reasonable degree of certainty that KCPC will be able to restore Mr. Hale to competency?
I think there's a substantial probability. I think if we look at the national averages of people who are undergo competency restoration treatment, approximately 81% will be restored to competency. I don't see why that would not be the case for Mr. Hale. Actually, I should say, I think what he is experiencing to some degree is delusions. Delusions can be more difficult to treat. Nonetheless, I think it falls under the umbrella of psychosis, and I think that is very treatable. And I'm not an MD, I'm a PhD, but I'm aware that there are very specific medications and treatments for these types of symptoms.
And does KCPC have the ability to address like the ability to prescribe those medications?
Yes.
Okay, I have no further questions.
No, no.
Okay, do you have any other witnesses?
No,
The doctor could.
Sir, can I like, please?
Wait just a second. I'm gonna get back to you here, okay? On an aside, who is responsible? Who's the head of KCPC now?
At this point, it's Colleen Slusher. Dr. Colleen Slusher is our chief executive officer.
Okay, could you have Dr. Slusher to call me on another matter? I have trouble getting through up there. I call Judge David Williams, and I'm in the directory, okay?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. May be excused. Now, sir, you act like you want to say something, but your attorney has advised you not to say anything. You realize you have the right not to say anything, correct?
Yes, but I would sure like to speak about something because I don't understand what cattle crossing a fence and me going
Hey,
over
Jared,
my mother.
Wait, we can't talk about the facts of the case. The issue we're trying to decide now is whether you're competent to have a trial so you can tell your side of the story, okay?
I just don't understand why I've been in here for 10 months and with a $10,000 cash bond on cattle crossing a fence where I've never stolen up for in my life. My mother and father come to my house and took my
Hey, don't
gun.
say anything else about the case. I'm inclined to let
I
you.
understand. It don't make no sense to me.
Wait just a second.
Based on Dr. Sparks' opinion, that's the only thing in the record. I think if we have a trial, it's going to be overturned. It's going to be reversed. Because the only evidence in the record right now is he's not competent to stand trial. I'd love to go ahead and have a trial too and get it over with, but
I would.
What do you have to say, Representative?
Judge, Mr. Hale does not believe that he has any type of mental illness that would prevent him from rashly participating in his own defense. However, I believe that the court has heard testimony today, and while the defense would ask for the court to not send him to KCPC, I do agree with Mr.
To not, to do what?
to not send him to
What
be
do you
restored.
suggest I do with him if I don't send him for evaluation?
Judge, I do not have a suggestion in the alternative other than to state that the defense does agree with Mr. Stockton that this would be an issue preserved for appeal. So I have concerns that we would be doing a trial twice.
Well, what do you suggest we should do then?
Judge, I do not have a suggestion.
That,
Sir, I've been sent to Western State 2 or 3 times and Life Skills afterwards, and Heather and Ashley Cole of Life Skills of Monroe County Life Skills told me that there was nothing wrong with me. It was my neighbors, Corey Nixon, and them was causing me the problem.
Jared,
don't
please
say
stop
anything
talking.
about your case. Don't say anything else about your case, okay?
Yes, sir.
I would suggest the order be entered for a 30 days treatment, restore him to competency. We've got 3 cases to try, not just one. Once he's restored to competency, Commonwealth will make an election while he's at KCPC. And if he wants a quick trial date, we'll accommodate him.
Okay, I'm gonna order a 30-day treatment so that it's okay? Thank you very much. Okay, thank you, sir. Your attorney will be over to talk to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, you have a great day.
Hey, thanks for watching. Please do let us know in the comments what you thought of this video. If you'd like to support what we do here, the best way to do it is to pick up some of our merch. You can find it at courtroomfiles.com.